The people in this village, as you're looking at, will help you in every way, shape, form of the other. Whether it's a lady or a girl gets into trouble, or one way, shape, form of the other, they will help. But when we get across there, no. No.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this busy, bustling town. It's busy if you like trees, and if trees like towns, I don't believe they do. We're on the site of the former Arkwright Town, which had to be uplifted. An entire community had to be uprooted and moved, and this was due to methane coming from under the ground. Now, it was once a coal mining community, and Arkwright Colliery closed in 1988. And the pit buildings are over there, all the machines, the shafts all around, and over on that side was where the spoil heaps and coal heaps were. And we've got the A632 over there, we've got Sutton Road there, and over there, believe it or not, there was a train station, and that was the railway line's Chesterfield Arkwright Town station. We've got the former Great Central line over there heading to the north and heading to the south. So what happened? Well, there used to be 52 houses, 52 properties, terrace houses all in a row, and they had to be evacuated in the early stages because of these methane issues. And eventually it was took on board that the entire community had to go. So what did they do? Well, they shifted it onto the other side, and they built a brand new community of 56 properties, so 4 more than the previous site. So that's a little bit of an improvement, and everybody and their families at the time moved over to the other side. Let's have a look at maps so we can see where Arkwright Town once was, and we'll now see where new Arkwright Town is on the other side. So looking at maps, this is Google Maps as it is today. This is the view down, and what you can see is not much at all apart from the new Arkwright Town just poking out at the very top. We'll go to the partially faded map, and it's starting to look a little clearer. Look, you can see the railway lines going up to top to bottom, and also from left to right. And if we go to the full map from around 1934, you can see the site of the colliery, you can see the old Arkwright Town, you can see where the station was, and Arkright Town junction is over here. And back to Google Maps from today, we can now see where Arkright Town junction used to be, right about just here, and the station site is over there. I'll go to the older map yet again, and it all becomes perfectly clear of how the railways just looped around and absolutely went circular around Arkwright Town. A little look at railmaponline.com, and you can see all those blue lines. We're going Chesterfield to the left, we're going to Shirebrook and Lincoln on the right, we're going to the north on the Great Central and also the south, and that little loop around what is now the new town, that is where both railway lines joined onto each other. And you've got to remember that that loop did not have the new town there when this line was actually open. So new Arkwright Town was completed by 1995, and the old town was demolished pretty much straight afterwards. And it was a deal concluded by the British Coal Board, and part of the deal was to have a 100-acre site for open cast mining, and this went on from 1993 until 2005. And yet again, there's no trace of that either than the current lay of the land around. So what I'm going to do now, we've looked at the maps, I'm going to head down the area which was probably Hardwick Street, which is really haunting in itself, and I'm going to take you just a little way down the Lancashire Derbyshire East Coast Railway just to see the lay of the land and how the railway came up and served Arkwright Town. So I'm stood here exactly where Arkwright Town junction was. We've got the former Lancashire Derbyshire East Coast Railway track bed going off in that direction, off towards Shirebrook and Lincoln. If we look this way, that's where the site of Arkwright Town station was, just up there, and it would have continued on towards Chesterfield in about 3.5 miles. What the junction does here, it loops around, it bypassing the old Arkwright Town on the left and over towards the new Arkwright Town, and it loops around and joins on to the main Great Central Railway just a short distance over there. There's nothing really to show you up there, it just curves around and it's a dead end. So let's get ourselves further up this track bed and we'll have a look, see if we can find any remains of the former Arkwright Town and also its station too. 8th of March 1897, there was a station right here where I'm stood, consisting of a couple of platforms, and it was called Arkwright Town Station, serving the town right next to me just there. And it lasted until December 1951 to passengers, and it closed completely in 1963. So we've got the town over there, and we've got the former main buildings of the colliery over here. And the biggest bit of evidence we've got for there being a railway here, and there was also a couple of sidings along here as well, we've got a bridge, or what was formerly a bridge. Can you see those brickworks and steel plating just there? There we go, just there on the right hand side we've got the brick abutment, it's got the coping stones on top, and then we've got the steel plated side walls. And if I can get you around the other side, and it's a big if, but we'll try. There we go, and we can make out the other one right through there. Now that's Sutton Lane on the other side. Sutton Lane will take you up there to what is now the new Arkwright Town, and the track bed back towards Shirebrook and Lincoln shot off over in that direction. And you've got to imagine that the railway went under there and out the other side and headed off towards Chesterfield. And in doing so, it also crossed the Great Central main line, heading between the north and the south. And it is quite hard to believe that this was once a nice little station and a busy railway line too. I'm probably pretty much down on track bed level right now. You can just make out that brickwork of the bridge that we've just been looking at, with Sutton Road on the other side. So over there we've got our former Arkwright Town. Not sure if we're going to find anything, but it'd be interesting to see where things once were and try and get a bit of perspective using old maps too. Also worth mentioning, behind me we've got the town on that side. The former town is over there. There was also a football pitch, a football field for the town, and it probably even had its own football team as well. It's now fields, and there's absolutely no trace of this football pitch at all. Back to the maps, and that green clump set straight in the middle of the screen there, that was the old Arkwright Town. And we'll go to the partially faded map, and you can see the terraced houses and the streets right in the middle of that area, and you could also see the railway lines a lot clearer as we jump to where the railway station was on the older map. You can just see it at the bottom, just down there below the town itself. Now, as part of the deal for British Coal, the cost of the properties was going to be financed by the approval of a deal struck to open cast mine on the former Arkwright Town. So basically, because of this, there is going to be no trace of the old Arkwright Town.
one in the village, the names and everything. 156 houses in the village then, used to intermingle, social life, what bit of social life we used to have, and it was lovely.
I've been in every house in this village, me, not gossiping, not gossiping.
Now there was two main roads surrounded by terrace houses that served Arkwright Town. There was Hardwick Street and there was Penrose Street, and I'm just off centre to the side of the railway where the railway station is of Arkwright Town, and I believe I'm stood pretty much where Hardwick Street would have once been. So whether I was on the road or where the house's foundations was, it is so eerie just spinning around on this spot, looking around. Let me show you from the outside, look. Just trees, silver birch, mushrooms, absolutely everywhere. But at one time, there would have been milkmen, there'd have been petrol cars, maybe even horses. The sound of the colliery doing all its work over there, and the railway line heading towards Chesterfield, and the one towards the north and the south of the Great Central too. And Penrose Street was a couple of rows of terrace houses over on that side. And I'm pretty sure we're going to find no trace of that either. But it is really eerie just standing here right now, looking up, knowing what sort of sky the residents of Arkwright Town once had. And now this is the view. Okay, found something quite interesting. So Sutton Lane is just the other side of those bushes and trees just there. You might be able to hear, there you go, a van has just gone past. I found a wall, a red brick wall capped off with red brick and concrete. And it comes to a stop just there where that tree is just coming out. Now, I believe the road that was just following potentially came out onto Sutton Lane around about here. So was this part of a boundary wall as it came on to that road that came through Arkwright Town. We'll get around the other side and see if we can see any evidence of anything whatsoever. Now it's a lot higher on this side, so the lay of the land is clearly lower. I'll take you around and along. So yes, Hardwick Street did in fact come across like that into the town. And I'd potentially say that this was probably the outer wall, and the supports being on the other side was probably the inside of the wall. So was our road right here? I'm going all the way over there. You can see where the wall did in fact carry on, and it's clearly been demolished, but for some strange reason this bit's been left here, right where the tree is shooting up just there. And just for point of reference, where the wall is, Arkwright Town Station was just a little way the other side of those trees over there. Now what I think I've found here is that wall. If you look at that white house, that white building straight ahead of us, you can see the bridge on the right hand side. Look at the white house and go to the bottom, and just here you can see a straight line which appears to be probably a red brick wall going all the way across. It's a similar distance, if not the exact same distance, from the bridge that the railway went under.
I don't want to talk posh. I'm of the endowment, that's the way I talk. But I love this village. And when it goes down, I'll break my heart. I'll born just down that street, walk down there every morning, 7 o'clock, see my mum, see my friends, every dinner time. You can never get it back.
Okay, so believe we may have found the course or the rough area of Hardwick Street. The next mission is trying to find anything to do with Penrose Street, the next one along. It looks a bit tough going through there, but I'm going to try, and we see if we can get at least on the rough course or trajectory of where this once was. Okay, I believe I'm in the vicinity of Penrose Street. Now this street was the longer of the two that I've mentioned today. Hardwick, back over there somewhere, and Penrose, it was about 20% longer than Hardwick. Completely aligned, terraced houses on both sides, and completely lost to history. Just look around. No evidence whatsoever. Now I've based my location on the straight lines of the trees, which could be complete nonsense, and also my spot where I've pinned myself on Google Maps at this very point, and it appears to be just over. I've done it twice in two different spots, and it is putting me pretty much where Penrose Street once was, and we'll jump to the maps to remind ourselves what this once looked like. Right, now I've got to try and get out of old Arkwright Town. I know roughly which direction it is. Once I do, I'm going to get back to the site of where the former station was and jump down onto the former track bed of the Great Central Main Line and come around the other side where new Arkwright Town is right now, and we can see how the railway laid in the land and how it served the colliery.
They're going to knock it down whether I want to go or not, so I've got to go. So I've took a bungalow instead of a house. I own my own house. I'm going to have a bungalow instead of a house. And they're going to pay for it. That's as far as I'm concerned on that realm. I'd have been happy to stop where I was. And I think he would have known better.
So I've now briefly jumped onto Sutton Lane. Remember we talked about that earlier, and we've found the old bridge where the railway used to go underneath, and the railway station is just down there. I'm going to show you. I'm going up this hump, and you can clearly see it does look like it's going to go over a bridge, and of course it used to. On the right, just appearing, is our very own bridge, abutments and steel sidewalling. And right now we are in fact on the other side of that bridge, and the other side is exactly where Arkwright Town station was. There's traffic coming, so in a moment I'll jump over and we'll have a look down the other side. Now as you can tell, I do have to be careful because there is no pavement on this side, but looking down the other side, that's where we stood near the beginning of the video. That's where your station was, and platforms either side heading off towards Shirebrook and towards Lincoln. And Chesterfield would have been on the other side. But as you can see, all that has gone. There's no wall there, there's no track bed. Can look down again, just here look, and you can see there's no trace. But you can see evidence where a lot of the rivets were. Look at this, over here actually, it's completely different look. It's remarkable, isn't it? Right, something else to show you. So our railway bridge is just there. Now just here, look, there's that wall. Remember the wall? That's great, isn't it? It looks like there used to be access into the former town just here. There's an old fence post there. Well, it's wooden, great big stone there, stopping people from going on. So you've got to imagine this was probably one of the access points for the old town, maybe during demolition. So are we now stood in the entranceway of the old road into the town? That's what it looks like now. But that's where we're going, back to the bridge over there, and we're going to follow a little bit of the former track bed that loops around the new Arkwright Town. So before following the railway around to the back of Newtown, I'm going to go down there and have a look and see if there are any remains of the former Arkwright Colliery. So just below Arkwright Town and the railway station was Arkwright Colliery, and this closed a few years before the town was demolished. If we look at the partially faded map, you can see it coming quite a bit more clearer, And if we go forwards to today, you can see it's absolutely all gone. It's all been obliterated, not a trace.
42 families are now facing their 6th night away from their homes at Arkwright in Derbyshire, but at least work has begun to seal the methane gas leak, which was first discovered last Wednesday.
So I've now come down to where Arkwright Colliery once stood. The hustle and the bustle, the pit, the winding wheels, all the machinery was all over there. Opening in 1938 and lasted until 1988. I'll give you a bit of a pan around of what it looks like. So, old Arkwright Town beyond those grey units. The new town the other side. And the colliery is over there. There's a couple of things over there I'm going to try and get down and have a look at. Now the railway line. That's the embankment just up there, look. So we've got the direction towards Staveley over there and the direction going south. I don't think I can get up there. There's probably nothing up there anyway. I'm going to have a mill around the site, see if I can find anything of interest, and I'll be sure to show it you. Look, I've come down the embankment. I've found a culvert. So that's not the railway track bed up there. The railway track bed is another hill above that, another embankment. I'll go back up there and show you that, but there's a nice little culvert here, look, for going below the railway. Now I saw all this water and I thought, it's got to be gushing through, not going to be able to get down there. But looking at that, if I can find a way of stepping around there, I'm going to give it a go. I can get you more of a head-on view there, look. But you can see how much water is collected around here from all the recent rain we've been having. So although I did do a full walkthrough of this culvert underneath the Great Central Railway, and even at the other end I did manage to climb the embankment and get on top of the old former track bed, but I felt the video was getting a little bit long and it kind of took away from what we'd actually come to see on this particular visit to old Arkwright Town. So I'm going to save it for another video where I walk the old railway between Arkwright and Staveley. And when I was over there, when I first got on the colliery site and near the railway, I could see something that looked like a bridge over here. And I think we're about to find it. I think it is just around this corner, and it may be a road over bridge to go over Sutton Lane, which is just next to me over there. There's all the former abandoned colliery land over there. The railway is that thick green line of trees over in the distance, and the culvert would be somewhere over there too. So it is in fact an overbridge over Sutton Lane. The old town is the clump of trees over there. It's quite windy up here. On the other side, not really much to see other than the road and then the site of the former colliery over there. That's a nice little find though, isn't it? Not allowed that way. Keep our avian flu control zone. Curious. There's a body of water there, look, a nice little pond. I wonder if that culvert brook flows into that, and how are we going to get across here? Okay. Oh, have I really got to walk all the way back around? One humongous leap off that rock later, I landed just there. That's bloody hell, that's quite a long leap, isn't it? Yeah, a little weir just there. Thought I was going to have to go all the way back around the way I came then. Oh, there's a little building over there, look. See it? Let's go and check that out, see what that is. I'm really unsure how old this is and what it would have been for. So it's been built up with breeze blocks and it looks like a metal corrugated roof. And it's got a couple of these, what I can only assume are some kind of drainage channels. So I wonder if it used to have electrical components, because there is a way out just there, and probably there may have been at one time down there as well. Curious little thing. So yeah, some sort of storage hut maybe, or electrical substation, I don't know. Someone might know. Still got some of the old perimeter fencing here, look, with the yellow posts from when it must have been a former entrance, because we've got the tarmac down, and some very old gates which probably predate the colliery closure and was put in to seal it off. More concrete there, look, and even an old, look at that, a concrete lamppost. You don't see them very often now, do you? Let's follow this up a little bit, see if there's any traces of anything. It's like a concrete wall or barrier, but this was definitely some sort of access road, wasn't it? Or yeah, an internal access road. What's this down here? Don't know. Just a concrete U section. There's another really old lamppost through there, look. That's back in the days when I believe there were just bulbs that were inside them. But look how close I can get to that. Where I can at all. Oh yeah, a little bit of a fence to go over. Very, very windy again at the moment. Apologies. Yeah, just a lamppost, look, in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I think we found another form of access road with the boulders just there, look. It's like an old piece of coping stone off a bridge, that one. Yeah, and you can see the tarmac coming in, and it continues on, look, up along here. And I don't know what's through there, if anything at all. Just looks like a load of bushes. Curiously, another lamppost, look. It's one of those double-sided, double-armed concrete ones. Quite a lot of these was made nearby at Staveley and also Stanton in Derbyshire. So it could well be that that is from there. Quite curious, isn't it? Arkright pumping station with the old area code on it, look. And they expect you to sound your horn for attention, presumably on a vehicle which is just coming through that gate. Now it looks very wet through there. Is it opening this side as well, look? Does that mean we can get in and have a look? But I bet there's nothing to actually see. I have to stop wrapping my ankles around weeds and get in. So no, it looks like there's nothing to see at all through here. Unfortunately, no trace of the actual pumping station, so it must have once sat around about here. So there's another old gate, look. That makes me even more curious about this little area where the pumping station once was. No, I've come the other side of that and I can see the original gate I looked at just over there. Nothing. So it looks like it's all gone. So what we found on the former Arkwright Colliery is absolutely astounding, really. The culvert, didn't expect to see that. To get up onto the track bed, didn't expect to do that. And to see a few relics down there, the bridge, the street lights and that peculiar grey building, didn't expect to see that. I'm going to take you up to where the Great Central Railway picks up now and loops around to the new town. Okay, so right here there was two completely different busy railway lines. So there you've got the embankment, and that shut off and served Arkwright Town station and carried on the embankment there to its destination of Chesterfield. I'm on a different line now, and this one used to go underneath, and this is the Great Central main line heading to the south and London, and this way heading to the north. And the reason I've come down here is because at the beginning of the film I showed you the railway junction that went off and curved around the colliery, and which is now the new Arkwright Town. And we should be able to pick that up at the other end and walk around the new town before completing our explore today. Okay, in this map view from Google, you can see Arkright New Town right in the centre, that weird sort of circular shape. And going from top to bottom was the Great Central Railway line, and the curve across the top was the former railways. And this incorporated Ductmanton East, North and South Junction. If we go to the partially faded map, you can see the railway lines are there, and you can also see there's an additional line running around almost like a crescent moon coming away from Chesterfield Road. The full map, it's all clear yet again. Look, you can see the old town at the bottom, you can see Chesterfield Road going left to right, and the junctions above of the railway ready to loop what is now the new Arkwright Town. So the A632 Chesterfield Road is up there. Look, it's still got the column going across with either water or gas probably going across there. Chesterfield in that direction and Bolsover in that direction up there. If we continue on underneath there, there is a former railway junction that loops around the back of the former colliery and what is now the site of New Arkwright Town. Now, as I come out the other side of Chesterfield Road, the A632, the track bed shoots straight down towards Staveley, a few miles down there. But what it also did was went up on an incline just there to cross over our main line and head on over into the colliery just over there. I'm hoping there's still some remains of this bridge. I don't believe the top is there, but I believe the sidewall abutments are. And it goes very, very wide down here when I've been looking at maps. This is quite exciting. I'm hoping we'll find something pretty good. I've stood now right next to where our incline curve coming from Ductmanton South Junction, which was down there, Chesterfield Road A632, crept up all the way along there, and there we go. We've got a bridge abutment wall just there, look, and where the bridge went straight across and over to the other side. Look, let's get you over there. And that took it up to Ductmanton East Junction, looped around the colliery and joined on to the Lancashire Derbyshire East Coast Railway around the other side, around the other side of old Arkwright Town. We carry on that way, we're going to end up at Ductmanton North Junction. So we've got south, north and east, there's no west. So let's see if we can have a little look over there where this line looped around and joined onto the other track bed going up to the North Junction as well. And then we'll finish off around the other side at the top where the memorial is for old Arkwright Town. So the track bed we've just been looking at is over there and the bridge is over there. We're following a track down the side of the embankment, and over there you can see a line of trees. And what that was the other line I previously mentioned, Ductmanton North Junction, a little way over there, and it would have joined onto the East Junction a little way down there. So as for the Great Central Railway heading north, where does that now go? Well, I'm going to follow that up in the video that follows this one. So if you'd like to do that and come along with me, you know, subscribe and I'll take you along there. But now I'm going to head on up to Chesterfield Road and see you by the memorial.
People don't understand it. Nursery cottages, nursery farm. Hey up there, come and help me out here. They want to know about the bloody village and I'm trying to tell them.
Keep telling Russ, have another pint on.
Ah, no, bloody well, lad.
Now I'm going to finish off here beside the memorial to Arkwright Town, the site of the former community of 51 properties and their households, and also the colliery as well. What a beautiful thing. It's got an old railway bridge coping stone at the very top. A tiny reminder of what once stood here. Beside the busy A632. So from Arkwright Town, thank you very much. I'm Anne. Take care, and I'll see you in the very next film. Bye-bye.
The first 3 nights were full night's rest.
I never thought I would say that. I never thought, I wouldn't have believed if anybody had said it to me, that I would say I didn't want to go back, because I was born in the village, you see. I've lived there all my life. But no, I wouldn't go back now. Not now we've got this. I like it too much.